Hi everybody. Okay, so I wanted to do this video a while ago too, but now I have a tie-in, but I wasn't exactly waiting for anything. Um, all right. So, Brotherly Love podcast is based on the show. Well, it's titled after the show Brotherly Love, which starred all the Lawrence brothers, and the Lawrence brothers are Joey Lawrence, Matthew Lawrence, and Andy Lawrence, or Andrew. The reason why they're so famous is because Joey was on Blossom, Matthew Lawrence was in a bunch of movies, most notably, I think, Mrs. Doubtfire, but also he was on the last season of Boy Meets World and also on and a couple other things. But the thing that keeps them together is they are one of those families who works better together. So they're all writers and producers and everything. So whenever they can find a project that they can all do together, you'll see them in a movie. And I know that Andrew Lawrence, the youngest of the Lawrence brothers, directed their last movie that they did. It was on the Hallmark Channel or the Lifetime Channel, one of them. Um, and yeah, that's what he does. And then Matthew and Joey act. Um, Joey Lawrence was in Blossom, and then he was in Melissa and Joey, and he's been in a couple other things. And of course, Brotherly Love, which was a short-lived sitcom in the 90s somewhere. Um, okay, so the reason I bring this up is not only for that, but because there's a tie-in with Ted Lasso. Okay, um, now for some context, every Friday they interview a celebrity. Sometimes it's someone they know, sometimes it's not. And sometimes they'll just talk for 45 minutes or something on anything. And one of the interviews they did was with Ted Lasso, who played Nick Russo, the father on Blossom. But there's also a tie-in with he directed a bunch of episodes of Melissa and Joey, the other sitcom that Joey Lawrence starred with Melissa Joan Hart. Now, in Melissa and Joey, she played Mel, a politician, and he played the Manning. Okay, it's kind of like Who's the Boss, but updated. But the twist is, the kids are Melanie's or Mel's niece and nephew. And Joe, he plays Joe Longo. He doesn't have any kids or anything. Okay, so it's kind of a twist on that. And of course, they have to go through the usual. But there's always this tension between them, and they say there's no way would never get together, never, never. But then at the end, they get together and whatever, you know. But the thing about the show is, it's great. There's nothing wrong with it. But a coming of age show has a lifespan of 4 or 5 years. It depends on when you get the kids because and how you want to take it because when the kids are cute, they can do stuff. But then they're going to grow up and have teenage problems. So then it becomes how many episodes can you write about teenage problems? And then how far are you going to go with it? Are you going to go until they get into college or are you going to stop or what? So, but it was a great show. And I always like shows that it seems like the people on there are friends behind the scenes because it seems more real when you watch it, you know? So that was another reason why I liked it. Um, I would still watch it today because the scenes and the comedy still holds up. And they're still good friends to this day. Melissa Joan Hart and Joey Lawrence. And Matthew too. Um, I'm sure Andy is too, but you know, I kind of feel bad for Andy only for the fact of he's the youngest. So there are some stories where he's not involved because he wasn't born yet. So, and I can relate to being the youngest because I'm the youngest in my family too, you know. And I can speak from my experience that I was always trying to get noticed because I was noticed for my special needs, but okay, I'll give you a little tip. You don't want to be noticed for that, and you want to be noticed because you're there. You know what I mean? So I can relate to that. Um, but yeah, it's a great podcast and everything. So if you're online or just looking for a podcast, look it up. Brotherly Love Podcast. The way I spelled it in the title. Check it out. All right.